So you are welcome to my healthy food place, where we share ideas and recipes on how you can stay healthy naturally. So we are continuing with our subject, the subject on the table, how to stop a fever naturally. Yesterday we talked about some of the things that could cause a fever in younger children, and then sometimes even in older adults. So it's more frequent. But today, the focus is on some of the common signs and then the common herbs that can help you when you are experiencing a fever. Now, when you are experiencing a fever, there are certain things you need to do. Yes, I already stated that if you are experiencing a fever, you need to stay away from solid foods. Yes, very important, because sometimes even in younger children, when a child is going through fever, for instance, and the child refuses to eat, and again, sometimes loss of appetite could be a sign that the inside is not okay. Maybe there is already fever inside the body. The body is already hot. The temperature is rising. There are a few occasions also when the temperature could be high, but you may not feel much of it when you try to feel your body or feel the child. You may not feel much of it until you use a medical equipment for measuring temperature before you could say exactly how high it is. Sometimes when there is loss of appetite, you may suspect it. You may suspect it if you feel that in your body, but not at all times. Now, if a child is refusing to eat, sometimes ignorance makes parents try to force that child. You don't need to force a child to eat. You don't need to force yourself also, an adult, to eat, to have food, because sometimes the body is just trying to have a break. And at other times, maybe that the temperature is high inside and it's trying to deal with it. I mean, our body, our immune system may be trying to deal with it. And in that process, most times, when people try to force food on themselves or on the child may start throwing up, which is not a good sign. So it's better to allow the body to settle and resolve the fever by providing the enabling environment, by providing the right attitude, by not engaging in too much stress, by taking sufficient fluid, water, ensuring proper hydration, by not consuming solid foods at that point, especially high protein foods, and several other things that you can avoid in order not to escalate the rise in temperature. Yes, because if you don't provide enabling environment, your body may not heal. Now, if you are feeling headache, like I said yesterday, the symptoms could vary when people are going through high temperature. Sometimes some people with pains in all over the body, joint pain, sometimes it's headache, sometimes it's coughing, sometimes at other time maybe loss of appetite, sometimes it's even loss of sleep. Yes, somebody like myself. Yes, if I start to experience, maybe I lie down, I'm not able to sleep. It could be, among other things, maybe the temperature inside is already rising. Though feeling it, trying to feel it manually with my hand, you may not feel that it's really physically very high. But when it is tested with medical equipment for temperature, it could show very high temperature. That is how it is. And so when you are not having appetite for food, you don't need to force yourself to eat, because it could make the temperature to be, in fact, it could cause complications. The better thing to do is to take only fluid and liquid, things that are liquid. And taking liquid things is not to take processed foods like carbonated drink. They are not the best. So you could see, yeah, drink plenty of liquids. Yeah, that's true. But now, the liquid we are talking, there are some times I have seen people who are not having appetite, and I suspect that they are maybe temperature, they're just feeling unwell. But instead of going for natural foods, they are going for carbonated drinks. They are going for high sugary drinks. And I said yesterday that it's better to go for natural electrolyte drink. If you can have access to coconut water, it's a good one. There are other things, even if you can add apple cider to your water, just to make sure that there is something there, because it can provide you a little amount of energy and reduce the temperature. That is one of the food. Well, I'm coming to list out some of the things. Makes so much. Okay, yes. Thank you so much for that comment. So I'm saying that you do not have to be going for, those processed foods, rushing for them, those drinks, those ice creams, those foods that are difficult to digest. You don't have to. You have to be deliberate to avoid them when you're suspecting high temperature. And there are some that you can take. The alternatives, of course, I said, apart from the natural electrolyte drink, which is coconut water, which I know a lot of people may not have immediate access, like myself, including myself, to coconut water. And there is something about coconut water, again, that I need to also use this opportunity to highlight to us. Now, there is something about coconut water. Coconut water possesses the best, gives you the best result if you open it immediately and take it. You don't allow it to interact with the air. Yeah, like we are talking about mineral water. It depends on the type, but normal water is okay, but depending on the type of mineral water you say. But when you take normal water, it's okay. But when the temperature is being prolonged, maybe you have entered the second day and you have not been able to have appetite for food, the best thing to do is to start making drinks that have one nutrient or the other, like antioxidant rich drinks. Like, you can add lemon juice, you can make ginger tea. So we are now going into the herbal remedies that you can really take to boost your digestive health. Because when this thing happens, most times the first point of aspect of our body, the first part to be attacked is the gut health. And I have said before, and let me remind us that if you do not have appetite for your meal, the best thing to do is to start to consume drinks that can help to activate the digestive juice. Because as long as you are not having appetite, it's most likely that it's already locked up, it's under attack. So it's not producing digestive juice, either because of acids, too much acids. Remember, I told us yesterday that sometimes when you are having high temperature, it could be that acid is the cause, excess acidity. And this excess acidity could be, permit me to refresh our mind about what I said yesterday, that when you are going through some things like high temperature, the excess body acidity, emanating from the foods you've been eating, could be the one that block your stomach, your gut health, and it's not producing acid. And that is what is sponsoring the high temperature. Now, the high temperature, we already know, is not a disease, it's not a sickness, it's not anything so serious, but it's just your body speaking to you. It's just your body telling you that all is not well from the inside. Though you may not be aware of it, but your body is already going through the struggle alone, trying to secure your health through your immune systems. But when it's being overwhelmed, the temperature begins to rise. And when the temperature is rising, it could be the acids in the body that put the body under such a pressure. And where do these acids come from? I said too much carbohydrates, too much trans fats from vegetable oils, too much fried foods, too much sodium, too much of the high calorie foods that are low in nutrients. Even when you take too much of nuts, or any kind of nuts, whether it's peanuts, cashew nut, when you take any of them in excess, they pose acidic environment. And that acidic environment could, if you do not stop, begin to become something like a blockade, stopping your stomach from producing acids for digestion. And even if they are producing, it may not be getting to the point where they are needed because of the load, the unhealthy acids, the acidic foods, the acidic environment is more than the alkaline. So you now say you are not having appetite. And so what are you expected to do? You need to start those antioxidants that you have left out. Stay away from the sugars, all the sugary drinks, the great acids, including the carbonated drinks, which some of you ignorantly go for when you think you don't have appetite. Okay, you are taking the carbonated drinks with sugar, with other things, other additives, hoping that it will give you energy. Okay, it will give you energy, but it's not going to boost your immune system. It's not going to support your fight against that disease, that fever, or the cause of the fever. So it is important to address the real cause. And some of the real cause of the fever, I said before, are either there is too much acid in the body. These are the sponsors of most of the diseases. If you can take out the acids and get a good balance between alkaline and acid, you could be fine. At other times, it is toxic overload, excess toxicity. Your body has been taking too much processing and bringing out waste. And at a point, the toxins, the waste are overwhelming. And instead of you to bring in detox foods, natural detox foods and drinks, you are still bringing in the the foods, more food that the body needs to digest and produce waste in form of toxins. And so if the toxins continue to build up, the toxic overload could stop your digestive health from doing its job. And when the toxic, other things like you are having constipation, it will sponsor the toxic overload. If you are not able to empty your bowel for a few days, I use myself as an example. After a couple of days and you do nothing about it, the next thing, your body begins to cry out in form of rise in temperature. It happens to small babies, children, small babies, less than 1 year. If they are experiencing chronic constipation and you don't assist them, the next thing is their body is hot. And I've talked more yesterday on what ignorance has done in the aspect of managing children in terms of high temperature, because a lot of things have happened as a result of ignorance, because absence of knowledge is very, very bad. And so if you are thinking that it's excess acidity, you need to deal with it. That's the real cause of that's the sponsor of the high temperature. That could be the sponsor of that temperature rise. And then if you are also thinking is maybe nutrient deficiency, like I gave an example yesterday, that it came to me as a surprise to learn that lacking some nutrients could cause you to be experiencing a rise in temperature. I gave iron as example. It happened to me. Low iron. When you are malnourished. You're not getting enough blood to, the oxygen cannot pump around if there's no sufficient iron. I never knew this until lately when that happened to me. So when there's no sufficient iron and you are not aware to boost it using iron-rich foods, or maybe there is even a bacteria that is helping to reduce or helping to share the iron, the little blood you have. If you don't bring in foods again, because it's all about food. Remember that food is our medicine here. And so if you are here, you need to learn how to take food as your medicine, because that's what I do. And all my followers do the same. And so I expect you, if you've been living your life on too many medications, I'm not saying medication, you should avoid state, but too much medication after age 60 is not healthy, because your body may not be able to cope. Yes, that's the life I live. But that's not to say it's a crime or it's something that you should avoid, even when you are suffering. If there is anything that puts your life or your health to a point that you are in pain or agony, please go for medication. That's my position, that's my stand. When you are okay, you can continue with, this is a digression, but I think it's a useful one. You can continue with your healthy food, but whatever puts your life into stress, put you under pain, put you under discomfort, please seek medical attention for it, please. That is my humble advice, is my opinion, and that's what I will do if it happens to me that way. And so don't continue to say, I have had people who brought some cases, say their child is, this social thing is happening. I say, take that child to hospital. Because some pediatric cases, I've passed the age of children, so it's better. Okay, so put that $sign up so we can donate. Okay, I think those that are hosting me, they will see that and attend to it. But let me just quickly continue so that, and I appreciate you for that. Eddie Long, I appreciate you, and I pray God will open more doors for you. And whenever that button is there, I will be happy that you do that so that we continue to connect. Each time I'm here, you'll be around too. So what I'm saying is that it's not okay for you as an older adult to just, put your mind on that position that, like, as it's happening to you, that's how it's going to be happening in the case of the younger children. As for the younger children, you need to understand that when the child, for instance, says maybe is showing signs of toxicity or signs of maybe deficiency of some nutrients or whatever, all you need to do is to supply what the body is looking for. And by the time you supply what that body is looking for, your body is going to pick up, and before you know it, the fever disappears. That's exactly the point. Confirming the point, our position that your body can heal itself. That's my position. Before I digress to advising you to always seek medical attention if you are suffering because of that problem, or you are in pains. Don't continue to be in pain. That's why the scientists are there. That's why those drugs are there, to quickly take you out of the pain so that you can continue with your healthy life, whether you're taking food as medicine or whatever. And so put that aside. The second point I'm trying to refresh before I quickly highlight the remedies, the herbal remedies, is a point that you should identify the cause. If it's excess body acidity, if it's excess body toxicity, maybe there's too much toxins, you should use food. There are foods that can help you to remove toxins so that your body can be free, so that your appetite can come back. When you don't have appetite, it's maybe there's too much toxins, waste. If you haven't emptied your bowel for a couple of days, you're bound to run temperature if you do nothing about it. So what you need to do is to take things, some food that can help you. Apple cider is good. Green apples are good. Food, there are other food, even ginger tea is a warming food that can help to your stomach to start to produce acid again. It can open the arteries. Some, like in the case of some menopausal women, the arteries could be blocked. I always encourage us to take more foods that can help improve blood circulation. Foods like cayenne peppers for those that if you're having poor blood circulation. All these things put together could cause the temperature to rise. That is why I said yesterday that the cause of the rise in temperature in children, in some cases or in most cases, are different from that of the adults. For women, for men, sometimes when you are a certain age, the poor blood circulation could happen. The blood is not enough to have sufficient blood. You could have enough blood, even more than enough, but the arteries are clogged. They are not open. There are foods that can unclog your arteries. Fresh tomatoes can do it. Hibiscus flower tree can do it. Lemongrass can help. There are pomegranate juice can help. And we have found out that most of these foods, they also lower blood pressure. And that is why you will agree with me that too many cases of high blood pressure, high diabetes, is because of ignorance. If you suspect your arteries are clogged, there are lots of foods, herbs that can help. And the very common ones, I mentioned them. To relax your artery. Sometimes it could be insulin resistance in older adults. Insulin resistance could make you not to have quality sleep. And without that, you will not have good appetite. All these things are linked together. That's how the immune system works. So they are connected. Because if you don't have a quality sleep, you won't have good appetite. And if you don't have good appetite, your immune system is affected because there will be no food, no nutrients for your body to build and to repair dead cells. And if this continues over time, you will both run temperature. You will not only run temperature, you will needing you will have a case of medical emergency. That is the truth. And so we should not take high temperature because I said it's not really a disease. We should not take it as a light something. It's the body talking to us. And like I said yesterday, don't ever silence your body. Always listen to your body. It's one of my secrets. I listen to my body. Sometimes if your body is saying, don't have dinner. I did it a couple of days. My spouse was asking me, I said, I don't want to have dinner today. I just want an orange. So if that is what you feel, that your body is telling you that there are excess already. It's dealing with the excess. You don't need to be worried. I have seen people, you take more water, keep taking fluid, water. I have seen people, while I am chatting them up, either trying to guide or counsel them or coach them on their head, they are worried that they are not having appetite. Yes. Why are we always worried when you don't have appetite? Because we love to eat. We love food. But we do not know, or little do we understand, that digestion is one of the hardest jobs our body does. It begins from the mouth. And so when we eat, we leave the work for our body to do. And it's working and digesting. And we always want to eat as long as the food is available. But the work of digestion, we don't know what it takes for our body to do it. Digest it, transport it, assimilate it. Your body will assimilate, the ones will be sharing, and you'll be bringing more. So that is one of the things. If you are suspecting high temperature, you need to know if it's one of these things. And the last one, whether there is an imbalance in your body. You need to find out whether it is any of these things. And if you find out, you stop it. We already talked about it. You stop the imbalance and balance. If it's excess acidity, you do that. There are foods I can do it. Don't forget to follow. To subscribe, because you see some of these things in videos and all of that. So you have to ensure that if you are going through the excess acidity, you bring in food to help to remove the acids. Non-acidic foods, you know them already. But if you want me to repeat it, you can also make your comment. If you want me to repeat it, anything you are in doubt, drop your comment. I will attend to it. But there are drinks like lemongrass to help fight inflammations. If you are suspecting high temperature, yes, lemongrass is very, very good. And I have advised and suggested that if you have a way to have it at your backyard, it's very good. But if you can have it in tea forms, loosely, like dried form, is still okay. Lemongrass is great for temperature. It fights inflammations, because when the temperature is coming, it's bringing up with things like inflammations, loss of sleep. I know that lemongrass helps you to sleep. It has some good oils that helps you to sleep. Lemongrass helps to support your digestive health. Lemongrass, when you boil it as tea, when you suspect fever, it reduces pains. It supports a healthy blood pressure. I have actually seen people that are going through high blood pressure, and upon drinking lemongrass tea, it began to come down, the temperature and everything. At times, when some people are having a high blood pressure, their temperature also tends to rise. I've noticed it with some people. It may not be a general issue, but it has. I've noticed with a few of my, close acquaintances, that when their body temperature is high, if you check their BP, it's high too. And I think maybe blood sugar could be like that too. And so you need to ensure that you take the lemongrass in moderation. Don't overdo it. It's important to put this caution, because I know that there are people also who have taken too much consistently, and they also saw the ugly side of it. Because I have said that it does not matter how good or healthy a food may be. Once you take in excess, it's going to show off the ugly side. And so you should always take in moderation. And moderation could be just 1 cup in a day, in the morning or at night. Some people will suggest take it 3 times. I don't like all those 3 times, because sometimes they could put some tension. They will make you to want to eat more, some of the herbal drinks. And lemongrass is one of such food that helps to support your digestion. And so you need to take it moderately, either morning and evening, or most cases for me, when I take it once a day, I'm good to go. But if you feel your temperature is quite high and you want to take lemongrass, you can take it morning and evening. And occasionally too, there may be the need. I like this combination now. I want to give you one of my best combination. When I want to take it, I normally add a few guava leaves, because guava leaves helps to balance hormone. Guava leaves also is a source of iron. Sometimes low iron could be also hiding behind the symptoms. Low iron, if you don't have sufficient iron. So whereas the lemongrass is said to have antibacterial properties and other bacteria fighting properties, the guava leaves does that too. Then I often also add a few dry pieces of hibiscus flower tea, making it to look red. Red drinks are very good for our heart. I often encourage us, the older adults in particular, to always make time. If you cannot buy expensive wines that are red, you can always boil your hibiscus flower tea. And the best way I like to take it most of the time is to just add a little to my lemongrass. I don't take it, it's not a regular drink for me. You remember it has some acids. I'm talking of the hibiscus flower tea, which we call zobo here. Some people call it different name, laurel and all kinds of, different regions. It's a dry leaf. You can travel with it. You can take it along. That's one of the very beautiful things I like it. And it's not even, although some are putting it in loose leaf bags now. I don't like those ones in bags. You can take it as a dry leaf and just go to wherever you want to go. It supports your fight against high blood sugar or diabetes, supports your high blood pressure. Why this remedy? The people that this remedy I'm suggesting works best are for older adults, because when you suspect high temperature, it could be that same person may be managing high blood sugar. At other time, you will discover that the same person managing high blood sugar is also managing diabetes. And at other times, they are also managing hormonal imbalance, estrogen activities, all these things put together. Some are even overweight. Overweight itself is a disease, it's a problem. It can cause other problems. And so when you combine these herbs, like the synergy comes together, remember that the guava leaves helps to burn fat. It's a fat burning herb. And then the lemongrass has its own. Then when you now add the red colored hibiscus flower tea, it contains some nutrient that helps your body to reduce the absorption of sugar. It's an anti-inflammatory drink and herb. I'm talking of and as a matter of fact, 3 of them they possess anti-inflammatory properties. The hibiscus flower tea, the guava leaves, and the lemongrass. The 3 of them possesses anti-inflammatory properties. And the beautiful thing again is that they are naturally caffeine free. So they don't contain caffeine. Caffeine is not your friend. But when you are running temperature, now let me also throw a little light on this. Some people, when they are running temperature, I did it in the time of ignorance, they start to drink black tea. Yes, it tastes good to take black tea. Some of us, then, I like to take green tea because it is said to have less caffeine than the black tea. But do you know, though it may taste good, it may increase fluid in terms of you're drinking something, but the end result is not always favorable for the fever. Why? Because the caffeine in the drink helps to dry out the cells. And that's not what you need when you are running temperature. Caffeine helps to dry out the cell. And the caffeine in the black tea or coffee or the little quantity in green tea will not only dry out fluid, the little fluid that is left in the cell is going to dry out, and your body will need additional fluid. If ordinarily you needed a bottle, a 1 liter bottle of water, by the time you take caffeinated teas and beverages, you will need at least about half of it, or even the second size of it, to be able to allow your body to access fluid enough. So whenever we take the caffeinated teas, when we are having temperature, it places more demand for fluid, which is not always good for us, on us, because of the way it dries out the fluid. It dries out the fluid. And sometimes if you don't bring out sufficient fluid, you start having headache. At other times, you can't sleep because of the caffeine. And that is not what you need when you're in temperature. And that's why the teas that are being recommended here, they're all naturally caffeine free. You have to, if you're a lover of black tea, green tea like I used to, honestly, I used to be a very good, I buy all kinds of flavors. I love green tea, I love black tea, I love all flavors. But over the years, I came to realize that it's not okay as you get older, especially if you are suspecting or you're going to high temperature and you want it to stop or want to reverse it naturally. And so it's not something that you need to start going for black tea, because I have seen people taking it. I've seen people taking green tea. I have also seen people taking coffee. I'm not a fan of these caffeinated teas again any longer at this age. Though if I'm to walk or to take what tastes good in my mouth, I still love to take them. But at certain point in your life, it's not just about what tastes good anymore. It's about what your body wants, what's going to work for you. So that is why I encourage those of you who have one objection or one complaint about certain foods or the other. If that food is good for you, it's good for your health. Though it may not taste good, you may not like the food, but because of your health, try to incorporate it. That's what I do. I used to like okra soup before. Yes, one of my worst soup. I didn't used to like African bush mango seed soup. But if I tell you that I've incorporated them into my diet, why? For health reasons. Because of their beneficial nutrients. That's one of the secrets. If you notice that a particular thing is good for you, even if it's bitter, you have to force yourself to begin to take it. Learn to take it, because that is the secret of wellness. You don't have to always want something that is good, tasting good in your mouth, something that you love to eat all the time. It will not work out all the time that way as you get older, especially. So you'll be more concerned with the ones that is going to benefit your health. And so if you are one that you're having fever, for instance, and you suspect bacterial infections, while you are taking foods like garlic to attack, garlic is a very potent spice when it comes to tackling a host of bacteria. If you're having malaria, typhoid up and down, you need to make garlic your friend. If you're always having fever and this, it may be that there are bacteria living and are giving you trouble. You need to put them under check. Watch the words I use. Put them under check. And putting them under check is by bringing in foods like garlic on a regular basis. It's not possible you destroy all of them. It's a mission that is impossible. But you can eliminate their number. You can reduce their number. You can stop giving them the foods they love. So they stop growing in number, they stop multiplying, and then they will give the healthy gut bacteria opportunity also to work for you. And so you need lemongrass as a herb. You need hibiscus flower tea. You can put this down if you care to do so. You need guava leaves. Even the mango leaves. These are herbal teas that can help you, and they are naturally caffeine free. There are other foods. Ginger tea is great also if you're trying to ward off fever naturally. Then the neem tea is bitter. It's very, very good. It may be that your body is just longing for bitter foods, especially your liver. Once in a while, we'll give it what will help you to heal. So if you are having that temperature, because the neem tea, which we call dogoyaro here, is also a source of antibacterial properties. Sometimes when people are having malaria or fever or whatever, they just boil the neem the neem tea, but best for you is when you combine it with lemongrass. Yes, when you combine the neem, the dogoyaro, with lemongrass and boil it together, you get the synergy, gives you a better result. Why? Because most of these things that are attacking us, that we are trying to, they are of different species. There are so many of them. And so you need to combine, it's good to combine some of these herbs in order to get the synergy to be able to defeat this, some of these bacteria and bugs that cause a rise in our temperature. And then there are other foods, like I said, like ginger is beneficial. You can also make tea. You can also add apple cider to your drink. All the citrus are great for you if you are running temperature or you suspect high temperature. You can add lemon juice. It's an alkaline drink to your warm water therapy. Ensure that you start your morning with water therapy. Add lemon juice, about half a lemon will do, and then add it to your water and take. It's going to, if it's caused by acidity, going to help to alkaline your body. You can also make use of lime in case you don't have lemon. You can take orange. All the citrus, they are rich in vitamin C, which is a powerful antioxidant to help you neutralize free radicals and to strengthen your immune system. Why I suggest and advise that you do not rely on carbonated drinks to give you that energy sometimes when you are trying to ward off or reverse the fever, is because they do not support your immune system. They do not, boost your immune system. They only add sugar. Yes, when you take carbonated drinks, they add sugar. And then another thing you need to do is to you can add peppers. I tried it lately. Peppers like black pepper, they are good. Peppers like cayenne pepper. Now, if you're having congested chest, for instance, you can use cayenne pepper like a teaspoon and make warm water out of it. It's generally good for things like fevers. When you take a little and put inside your warm water and take, it makes your body, your arteries to open, and then something like you're sweating, and then your system, if you're having constipation, it tends to give you some form of release. And so you notice that you may have the desire to go empty your bowel. And sometimes when you do that, after some time, the temperature just begins to resolve. That is exactly what happens. The temperature just begins to resolve because of the toxins that have gone out as a result of the emptying of the bowel. So these are all the things that are put together to work against us. You do not have to, be worried if you are having fever. All you need to do is to boost your immune system using some of these herbs. There are several others that you can, take apart from a few changes that you need to do. The bitter leaf also, you can take it in moderation. Just wash the first set, throw the first water away. And then the second one, you can just take it. It's a source of zinc. Just take a little. It has antibacterial properties. It's going to make your enhance your digestive health. I'm talking of the bitter leaf. If you suspect fever, maybe it's bacteria, or maybe your stomach, you don't have an appetite, it's going to help to open up your appetite. And any drink that you take that ends up in opening your appetite is going to give you a relief from the fever. Yes, that is the truth. It's going to definitely cause you to have a relief, because when the fever comes, everything seems to be locked up. You don't seem to have even an appetite for food. So that is it. You don't have to force yourself to eat anything solid. If you do, you may either end up throwing up, which is not good. If you are vomiting and you are taken to the hospital, that looks like an emergency when you come with vomiting, and it's not good. You don't have to put yourself in the condition of vomiting. Continue to take the liquids, the water, liquids, but best is to take the natural ones. Remember, don't say you want to take tea, so you start to put plenty of milk, because these are some of the mistakes that we make. Yes, milk is good, but when you are dealing with high temperature, you need easily digestible foods. Don't say, I want to take milk. That may be okay for growing children, small amount of milk. That is also not to say that if you feel strongly to add a little, that's nothing bad. But I tell you, for those in our age, those in their 60s plus, those that are above 50, 55, I do not suggest that in trying to ward off a fever, you should make a bowl, or in trying to take fluid, you should make a big cup of tea with your milk and your sugar, and sometimes with bread. I've seen people do that, and that is not good, because you're adding more acids to your body. You'll be adding more acids, which is not good. Whereas you should work to reduce the acids. Don't work to drop in more acids, because it will create more acidic environment, which is not what you are working to achieve. And so we'll be drawing the curtain here at this point. I want to thank you all for coming, and then don't forget to subscribe to this channel, because it's all about staying healthy through natural foods. That's what we talk about here. Using food as our medicine. Sharing my life. That is the life I live. Using my own life experiences, so that where I erred, you won't err there. Where I made mistake and suffered, I don't want you to suffer there. That's the importance of the education, because education also is empowerment. On this note, I want to say again, thank you all for coming. And for now, it's bye-bye. See you again. Remember to subscribe also.